So Oppo just dropped something that honestly caught me completely off guard. The Pad Mini is here, and after spending some serious time with this thing, I have to say it's one of the most impressive compact tablets I've seen in a really long time. This is exactly the kind of device that makes you rethink what you actually need in a tablet, and I'm genuinely excited to break down everything about it. If you want to see why this thing is such a game changer for portable productivity and entertainment, then stick around because we're going deep. And before we jump in, if you're into tech reviews and breaking down gear like this, then please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button. It really does help me out and I appreciate it so much. The first thing that's going to hit you about the Pad Mini is just how incredibly thin and light this thing is. We're talking about a tablet that's only 5.4 millimeters thick and weighs just 279 grams. To put that in perspective, that's thinner and lighter than most premium smartphones out there right now. Oppo engineered this thing to be genuinely portable, and you can feel that commitment the moment you pick it up. The build quality is seriously solid too, with an anodized aluminum frame, and it just feels premium in your hands. They went with an AMOLED display, which is a huge move in the tablet space, and honestly, they nailed it. We're looking at an 8.8-inch screen with a 3:2 aspect ratio, so it's wider than a traditional tablet, which is actually perfect for content consumption and productivity. The resolution comes in at 1680 by 2520 pixels, which gives you a really crisp 344 pixels per inch density, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now let's talk about that display technology, because this is where things get really interesting. The panel is AMOLED with a billion colors and supports 144 Hz refresh rate. The brightness maxes out at 800 nits typical and can spike to 1600 nits peak, which means this thing is bright enough to use comfortably outdoors, even in direct sunlight. The contrast and color accuracy on this display is insane. Blacks are actually black and not just dark gray like you get on LCD panels, and the color reproduction is incredibly accurate whether you're editing photos, watching movies, or just scrolling through content. That 3:2 aspect ratio is also a smart choice because it's much closer to a book or a sheet of paper, which makes it way more comfortable for reading and document work compared to those ultra-wide 16:10 ratio tablets that some companies are pushing. Under the hood, you've got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 chip from Qualcomm, and this is their flagship processor for 2026. We're talking about that 3-nanometer process with the Oryon V3 cores absolutely flying through everything you throw at it. Comes with either 8 GB or 12 GB of RAM depending on the model, and storage tops out at 512 GB with the UFS 4.1 interface. The performance is butter smooth across the board. Gaming is fantastic whether you're playing something competitive like a first-person shooter or just casual games. Everything is smooth, responsive, and the high refresh rate display makes it all feel even more fluid. Apps open instantly, you can have dozens of tabs open without any slowdown, and multitasking is effortless. If you do any creative work like video editing, photo editing, or graphic design, this chip has more than enough power to handle it without breaking a sweat. The camera setup is pretty straightforward, which honestly I respect. You get a single 13-megapixel main camera on the back that can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second with gyroscopic electronic image stabilization built in. The front-facing camera is an 8-megapixel sensor that does 1000p video, so your video calls and content creation from the front are covered. The cameras are solid for a tablet and perform exactly how you'd expect them to. They're not groundbreaking, but they get the job done, which is really all you need from a tablet camera. The real star here is how good that display looks when you're consuming video content shot on these cameras. Battery life is really where this thing shines, and that's because Oppo packed an 8000 mAh battery into this chassis, and that's incredibly impressive considering how thin and light it is. You're easily getting 8 to 10 hours of regular mixed use before you need to charge, and if you're doing lighter tasks like reading or web browsing, you can stretch that out even longer. The charger is rated at 67 watts, which uses Oppo's UFCS standard, and it charges incredibly fast. You can go from 0 to a meaningful charge in like 30 to 40 minutes, which is seriously convenient. The entire charging infrastructure feels modern and efficient, and it's clear that Oppo put a lot of thought into making this a practical device for people who are constantly on the go. Now I need to mention this, and hey, if you're still watching, thanks for sticking with me, and if you haven't already, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because honestly your support means everything and helps me keep making these deep dive reviews. So the thing about the Pad Mini that really impresses me is the software experience. It ships with Android 16 and ColorOS 16 on top, and the integration is seamless. The interface is responsive, everything feels optimized, and there's barely any bloatware, which is refreshing because some Android tablets are just loaded with junk that slows them down. Oppo's taken time to make sure the tablet experience feels intentional and not just a stretched-out phone interface. The split-screen multitasking works great, and you can really get into a productive flow if that's what you're using it for. The audio situation is also solid with dual stereo speakers that get pretty loud and have decent clarity. There's no 3.5mm jack, which is a bummer if you're into wired audio, but honestly most people are using Bluetooth at this point. The speaker setup is good enough that you can actually enjoy watching videos and movies without needing to plug in external speakers, though of course, if you want that premium audio experience, a decent Bluetooth speaker or headphones will obviously elevate things even further. The design language overall is really clean and minimal. They offer 3 colors out of the box. There's Monet Purple, which has this really nice gradient to its Space Gray, which is the classic choice, and Mint Green, which is a really fresh summery kind of vibe. All of them look premium, and the color selection shows that Oppo actually cares about the aesthetic of their products, not just the specs. The overall footprint of the device is pretty compact too. Dimensions come in at 194.4mm by 132.4mm, which makes it genuinely easy to hold in one hand for extended periods without getting hand fatigue. That's a huge deal for a tablet because comfort matters when you're using something for hours at a time. One thing I do want to be transparent about is that there are some limitations. There's no cellular connectivity, so you're purely on Wi-Fi, which for some people might be a deal breaker if they wanted something more mobile, but honestly for a compact tablet you probably want the lighter weight and longer battery life anyway. There's also no microSD card slot, so whatever storage capacity you buy is what you're stuck with, but the base model comes with 256 gigs, which is pretty reasonable. The lack of an NFC chip is also notable, so you can't do tap to pay, but again, for a tablet that's not typically a make or break feature. The Wi-Fi 6 and 7 connectivity is excellent, and Bluetooth has aptX HD LDAC and LHDC 5.0 codec support, which means if you're an audiophile with premium wireless earbuds or headphones, you're getting the best possible audio experience. The positioning sensors, accelerometer, compass, and gyro all work perfectly for gaming and navigation. Everything feels well integrated, and Oppo clearly thought about what sensors actually matter for the use cases people have for this device. What really gets me about this tablet is the value proposition. At around €460, this thing is genuinely competitive with other tablets in its class, and honestly, it might be one of the better deals out there right now. You're getting flagship chip performance, an absolutely gorgeous AMOLED display, excellent battery life, and a beautifully designed chassis that feels premium but still lightweight and portable. For creators, content consumers, and people who need a portable device for work, this ticks basically every box. The fact that it's this thin and light without compromising on performance or display quality is seriously impressive engineering, and it shows that Oppo understands what people actually want from a tablet in 2026. If I'm being totally honest, the Pad Mini is the kind of device that makes you rethink tablet design. It's not trying to be something it's not. It's not pretending to be a laptop replacement, and it doesn't have unnecessary features you'll never use. It's purpose-built as a companion device for content consumption, productivity, and entertainment, and it absolutely nails that mission. The refinement in every aspect, from the processor to the display to the industrial design, shows that this wasn't thrown together quickly. Oppo took their time and got all the details right. That's the kind of attention to detail that separates good products from great ones, and this is definitely in the great category. So here's my take. If you're looking for a compact tablet that actually feels premium, performs beautifully, and won't weigh you down when you're traveling or moving around, the Oppo Pad Mini is absolutely worth considering. It's a solid choice, and I think a lot of people are going to be really impressed with what Oppo has delivered here. Whether you're a student, a professional, a content creator, or just someone who likes having a quality tablet for entertainment, this thing delivers on every front. The combination of the thin design, the excellent display, the powerful chip, and the reliable battery life makes it a compelling package that's hard to beat at this price point. So that's my breakdown of the Oppo Pad Mini. What do you think about this tablet? Are you considering picking one up? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what features matter most to you in a portable device. Thanks so much for watching this review, and if you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth tech reviews like this one. I really appreciate your support, and I'll catch you in the next one.